All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're navigating the modern digital landscape, specifically looking at how we can keep our personal accounts, and especially our super-sensitive health data, safe and sound online. So I want you to ask yourself, is your health data actually safe? Think about the stakes we're dealing with today. Literally everything that defines our lives, from our bank accounts to our private medical records, from our personal messages to our shopping habits, lives online. And because it's out there, it is constantly in the crosshairs of cybercriminals. The threat is absolutely real. But hey, the good news? Defending yourself doesn't require a computer science degree. You really just need the right toolkit.
Here's the roadmap for our explainer today. We're going to cover 1. The modern threat landscape, 2. Spotting the fish, 3. Building your digital shield, 4. Navigating the web safely, and 5. Finding reliable health info. Let's break down all this complex jargon into actionable steps.
Section 1. The modern threat landscape. Understanding the arsenal. To build a really solid defense, we first need to understand the weapons being used against us.
And it all starts with this big umbrella term, malware. Put simply, malware is malicious computer software designed to infect your device. It's essentially the primary tool cybercriminals use to sneak into computers and phones, gather up your private info, and send it off to unauthorized parties over the internet. They can plant this stuff through fraudulent emails, an infected flash drive someone casually left at a coffee shop, or even through compromised apps you downloaded outside the official app stores.
Now, looking at this list, you don't have to get overwhelmed by the terminology. Just knowing the basics is a huge help. Trojans, for instance, disguise themselves as legitimate files to trick you about their true intent. Ransomware, well, it literally holds your computer hostage, encrypting your files until you pay up. Spyware silently watches what you do. Worms are nasty because they auto-replicate and spread from computer to computer without you doing a single thing. Rootkits dig way down deep in your operating system, and adware tracks your browsing habits just to barrage you with unwanted ads. It's a whole digital zoo out there.
Moving on to Section 2. Spotting the fish, the psychology of social engineering. Here's a fascinating reality check. Most of the time, hackers aren't breaking into systems using some crazy complex code. Instead, they just trick people into opening the front door for them. We call this psychological manipulation social engineering, and the most common flavor is phishing. On the left here, we've got standard phishing campaigns. This is where scammers just cast a massive net. They blast out fake emails or texts posing as Amazon or Google, hoping anyone will take the bait. But on the right, that's where things get personal. Spear phishing and whaling are highly customized attacks. Scammers will actually research high-value targets, or CEOs in the case of whaling, usually using social media, to tailor attacks that look incredibly authentic. It's designed to completely bypass your basic security reflexes. And these scammers have brilliantly, or maybe diabolically, adapted their tactics across literally every communication channel we use. The phishing family tree has seriously branched out. We all know email phishing, right? But check out the others. Vishing uses voice calls. Think of that scammer pretending to be the IRS. Smishing comes right to your phone via text message, often claiming you missed a package delivery. Angular phishing targets you on social media through fake customer service accounts when you're complaining about a brand. And farming? That one is incredibly sneaky. It's malicious code that literally redirects your browser to a fake website, even if you type the correct address. So what's the takeaway here? It's that we can neutralize the vast majority of these attacks just by hitting pause and checking for a few key red flags. Does the message create a panicked, urgent need to act? Like, are they threatening to freeze your account? Is there an unexpected attachment? Do you spot weird spelling or grammatical errors? Is the greeting super generic, like valued customer? Always hover over the sender's name to check the actual email domain. If it's supposedly from your doctor's clinic, the domain definitely shouldn't be a random Gmail address.
Okay, Section 3. Building your digital shield, passwords and authentication. Let's pivot from the problem to the solution, because you actually have immense power to lock down your digital life.
The absolute single most effective barrier you can put up is multi-factor authentication, or MFA. Think of it like needing both a physical key and a thumbprint to get into your house. Step 1 is something you know, your complex password. Step 2 is something you have, like a code sent via SMS to your phone, your facial biometrics, or a USB token. Even if a hacker miraculously steals your password, without that second factor, they just hit a brick wall.
Now, I want you to start doing something that might feel a little weird. You need to start lying on your security questions. Yes, you heard me right, and this comes directly from our source material. I know it goes against everything you assume about setting up an online account.
So why is honesty a security risk? Well, because so much of your life is likely public record. Hackers can easily scroll through your social media to find out your high school mascot, your dog's name, or your mother's maiden name. If a cybercriminal figures out those answers, they completely bypass your password by simply clicking Forgot Password. You really have to treat security answers as secondary passwords. Create an answer that is completely random and different from the truth, or honestly, just use a string of random characters.
Which brings us to our primary line of defense, the unbreakable password. The rules here are pretty clear. You need length, we're talking at least 12 to 16 characters. You need complexity, so combine numbers, symbols, and mixed case letters. Never use personal info, dictionary words, or easy patterns on your keyboard. And crucially, you need a unique password for every single site. I know that sounds literally impossible to remember, right? That is exactly why you need to use a password manager. With one of those, you only ever have to memorize one highly secure master password, and the software securely stores and autofills all the rest for you.
Section 4, Navigating the Web Safely. URLs, Wi-Fi, and web browsing. All right, now that our digital shield is built, let's take it out into the real world, starting with how we connect in public spaces. Here's the deal. Public Wi-Fi should always be treated as hostile territory. Those connections at your local coffee shop or the airport, they are almost always unsecure. Even scarier, cybercriminals frequently set up fake cloned hotspots using the real business's name just to trick you into connecting. Any information you send over these networks can easily be intercepted. So the golden rule is super simple. Never, ever log into secure sites like your online banking or your healthcare portal when you're connected to public Wi-Fi.
And when you're browsing the web, you absolutely must look for HTTPS. That S at the end stands for secure. It means the website encrypts any information you type into the page, scrambling it up so cybercriminals can't read it even if they do intercept it. So always look for that little padlock icon next to the web address before you type in a credit card number or any personal data whatsoever.
This brings us perfectly to the web address, or URL, itself. Understanding top-level domains is a great trick because it instantly helps you identify who is hosting the website you're visiting. For instance, a .gov means it's an official governmental agency, while a .edu means it's an academic institution. .coms are U.S. commercial entities, and .orgs are organizations. Though keep in mind, pretty much anyone can register a .org, so you still have to verify their legitimacy. Section 5, Finding Reliable Health Info. Evaluating digital medical resources. Let's take everything we've learned and apply it to a really specific, high-stakes scenario. Researching medical info online.
Look, when you're worried about a symptom, it is so easy to fall down a late-night rabbit hole of misinformation. So here is your ultimate 8-factor critical thinking checklist for evaluating any health website. Ask yourself, who actually owns or sponsors the site? Who's paying for the advertising? Is their main purpose to educate you, or are they just trying to sell you a supplement? What are the author's credentials? Is it a real doctor? When was the info written and last updated? Is there clear contact information? Do they protect your privacy? Like, have you actually checked their cookie policies? And finally, does the site offer really easy solutions to complex problems?
I want you to pay really close attention to that last point on the checklist, because it brings us to this vital quote directly from our source material: websites that promise cures should be viewed with caution. If a website is out there offering a miracle solution or an incredibly easy answer to a complex health problem, that is a massive red flag for fraud. Run the other way.
Instead of rolling the dice with unverified sites, stick to verified safe harbors. We're talking about the CDC, the National Institutes for Health, Medline Plus, the Mayo Clinic, and major organizations like the American Heart Association. These places have incredibly strict review processes for the medical information they publish. When it comes to your health, you've got to start your research on platforms you can unequivocally trust. Well, we've covered a lot of ground in this explainer today, from spotting those sneaky phishing scams to fully locking down your digital shield. But I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. If a hacker guessed your mother's maiden name or your high school mascot right now, how many of your accounts could they unlock? Seriously, think about it. If your answer is more than 0, it's time to take action. Go update those security questions, set up a password manager, and take control of your digital security. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. Stay safe out there in the digital world, and as always, keep learning.